Hello, I'm Jane Textor, the Costume and Textile Curator here at the Wilmette Historical Museum, and I think I have something interesting to show you today. It's a multi-part donation, so the first part is this wonderful tintype from about 1872. As you can see, it's a young girl and she appears to be standing in a studio, though it's a little curious as to whether or not she's in a home or in a studio. But you can see that the photographer has taken the trouble to rouge her cheeks, making her look even more charming than she does. On the back of this tintype, actually it's in a paper sleeve, so on the back of this tintype, there is a bit of a marking in very faint pencil, and it reads, Mother Goose Entertainments, Eshe, E-S-H-E, aged 16 years. So this opens up a lot of questions about who this person was, and if indeed at the tender age of 16, she was an itinerant performer. But we do happen to know that there was such a thing as a Mother Goose entertainer, and that they were popular in this area. And we have some photographs from a much later time to prove that. But for now, I'd like to show you the second part of this interesting donation, and that is this beautiful gown. It's the very one that Eshe is wearing in her tintype. It's a three-part dress. It has a skirt, an overskirt, and a bodice, and the fabric is made out of silk and wool, and all this blue, this lovely blue trim, is completely silk. It's all silk. And we know it's from about 1870 to 1873 because of the way the dress is structured. In the 60s and very early 70s, the skirts on women's dresses were bell-shaped. They wore hoop skirts or crinolines, we call them. And by 1871, all that fullness of the skirt in the front had been pulled to the back. And indeed, you can see that here. This lovely bodice, too, is structured like an 1870s gown. It's got the little dovetail points here, all of them emphasized by that incredibly gorgeous blue silk. And you can see that there's a great deal of fullness here in the overskirt. And it's gathered up at the sides so that the front is relatively flat. So another interesting thing, there's just so many about this garment and about that tintype, is that the family who donated it donated many things to us from Wilmette, as it involved several old Wilmette families. But curiously, absolutely no one in any of those family units knew anything about this dress or about Eshe. And it is very curious because tintypes and photographs have always been mementos to be exchanged, but you rarely give somebody your dress. So who knows? Who knows? It's a curiosity and something that I hope you find as interesting as I do. I spoke of the Mother Goose Entertainments and entertainer, and again, curiously, in our database, we have some photographs from a much later time period that involve Mother Goose Entertainments. These are from about 1910 to 1915, we think. And apparently there was still a person, maybe a woman again, coming through town with her trunks full of costumes. She would go to schools or churches, mostly churches, I think, and entertain the children. She'd have them dress up in kind of your nursery rhyme things like Humpty Dumpty or 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie, things of that nature. And from these photographs, you can see that the children were, by turns, enthusiastic and reluctant to participate. But Mother Goose entertaining was a thing Perhaps it still is today.